again, nothing wrong between me and Chris.
So how's the trip, the UK trip to you?
It was great.
So everything great?
But just before you guys left, like Chris was always asking me like, "Are we good with Shawn? Like, why is he not responding to me?" And like, Shawn, he just doesn't, he, especially you meeting Mr. Olympia, his phone was just blowing up, and like,
yeah, he's dissed me before.
Yeah,
I've had to wait for it.
It's not nothing personal. Like he does that to everybody, and it's nothing personal. And I was like, no, he's just doing his thing. Like, not right now, he's not training. He's taking care of his other things. Like, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, and then after, even when he was leaving to UK, he was like, oh, it's gonna be weird on the plane. I was like, no, I mean, you're gonna be on the plane. You're gonna be guys together for a whole week, so you can talk and whatever you have on your mind, just talk it out.
So that's how he felt. You felt he was.
Yeah, he was already feeling it some weird way. I don't know why.
Okay.
And like, cause I trained with him in January. Regan was there. We were training all together. Like, I mean, we celebrated our birthdays. Like, he did a bowling party. I was with them with a big group of people. We did a bowling party for his.
Yeah, they did all this stuff, and I joke around. Listen, even during that time, I joke around, and I was like, man, dude, like, I didn't get an invite to go, bowling to your bowling. Like, damn, I thought we were like just joking around. Again, it's not my scene. I'm not, I don't do the hangout thing. I don't do the. And it's not because I'm Mr. Olympia. That's just me. I'm like, I just,
You're a homebody.
I'd rather stay home and lay on the floor. So that was my take. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm not training right now. I was with Cora, and I spent a lot of time on the floor watching TV and just doing that stuff. So it was nothing against anybody and what was going on. What bugs me is I came down to LA. And
so after the UK tour,
that's
when the whole thing happened that we still don't know. I don't know. We don't know what happened.
I don't know.
It's like when he came back from the UK. So the quick explanation, like when he came back from the UK, so he was gone for 2 weeks, most of February, and as a trainer you have to pay rent at Goal. So he hadn't been paying rent for February. He wasn't there. He wasn't training people. And when he was coming back, they were asking him to charge some. They wanted to charge him his rent, but he wasn't training anybody. And he's been gone for most of the months. And they were asking him. So from what I've been told at the time by his assistant Laura, who was helping him, that he had some paper stuff that wasn't up to date or something. Certifications thing. When I asked Chris, he said, "Oh, that been scratched up in less than an hour. That was nothing." But bottom line, after he came back from the UK, he was not at Goals anymore. And like there was all those crazy stories, he got kicked out, the police came, like all this stuff. I reached out, he didn't say anything to me personally, so I just reached out to him asking him if he was good. He told me, yeah bro, I'm all good, I was just tired of, I'm not going to pay rent for when I'm gone for most of the months, and at the moment I'm not training anybody anyway.
He makes a good point.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
For me though, I mean to cut Stan off, but for me, the day that this whole incident happened, I was in LA.
Yeah, you were at the firehouse.
I was in LA. I was at the firehouse. I was eating. I finished eating to go to the bathroom, and I saw Chris sitting behind me. And I go, bro, how long have you been here? And he's laughing. He goes, I just came in to get a quick bite, and I'm having a meeting with someone. So I'm like, okay. We chit-chat for like 5 minutes. Didn't say anything to me. I get to Gold's gym, and they're like, did you hear what happened? I'm like, what do you mean, what happened? They're like, Chris got kicked out. I'm like, yeah, right. I just saw Chris at the firehouse. He didn't say anything to me. Then he called me and he says, hey, bro, listen up. I'm here with the guys from Mexico. They want to know what your fee is. And I said the same thing for the seminar. I said, bro, we're a team. Like, whatever you decide, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. Then he sent me a text message, and I have the text message. And he goes, here is George's number, whatever. Can you call him and give him a number? For me, I can't do that because I don't know George.
Right.
I've never had a conversation with George. It's like, dude, like whatever you decide, that's it. We're a team. Like, never said one word to me about what happened in Gold's Gym.
Oh, no, you don't know.
So I never asked because I'm like, dude, you my trainer. If I just walked from the firehouse to Gold's Gym the same day this whole thing happened, and I just left you there and you didn't say anything to me, we're good. Because I'm not the one to be like Shawn said, Shawn did, or Shawn was here. I'm like, we're good. So I'm just like, okay. I get off the phone and people are like, man, the cops were here, Psycho got kicked out. I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah,
I just saw Chris.
So you didn't call Chris and say, hey, what's going on with goals?
No, I'm just kind of like, I just saw him less than 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why am I going to start a rumor?
Right.
I'm going to leave it alone. Chris
Yeah.
is my boy, he's my friend. I'm like, dude, you trained me.
Yeah.
You've trained me. We've trained together. We lived in the same building.
We just came back from a tour.
We just came back from a tour. Like, we just won the Olympia. We're thinking about the second Olympia. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just like, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't think anything
I
of
didn't
it?
think anything. I was like, man, people starting rumors. I just saw the match 2 weeks ago.
Meanwhile, I'm getting messages from everybody. Since I'm close to Chris and training with him and Shawn, and we're like, what happened to Chris? Like, what's going on? I heard he got kicked out. All these things. So, like I said, like my source, Laura, the Iron Giantess, like she was helping. She was assisting him with a lot of training. At Gold Gym. So I saw her in the gym. I asked her. She told me there was a certification thing. Then I reached out to Chris just because he's the person. I'm just making sure he's fine. Because everybody is talking like all this crazy thing. So I'm just like, hey, you good? He said, yeah, I'm good. And he said in a message, he messaged me on WhatsApp, and he's like, yeah, it was just they were asking me $800 a month rent. They didn't put my picture on the wall as they agreed to. And so yeah, I left, and I already set up somewhere else. I'm good. And I'll be there for you for the Olympia prep. For you and Shawn, I'll be there for the Olympia prep.
There where?
I mean, I'll be there to train you. We didn't say where. He said I'll be there. I assumed the Gold Gym, but like we didn't talk.
Right.
And after that, so then people keep messaging me, and because I'm bringing this up because he mentioned something like recently, like after the Generation 9 video came up, and I was commenting because he was saying that all the pros know what happened. And I was like, how everybody knows, but Shawn and I, we still don't know.
I still to this day don't know what happened.
Because on that video, Chris went and said that, I don't know if me, but he said that Shawn organized the whole thing. He was going back to train with Charles because he didn't want to pay him, and that he got like that Shawn, and I don't know if me too, what's he exactly insinuating, but like at least that Shawn and Charles and maybe me worked something out behind his back to get him kicked out of goals. And I'm like, this is crazy. I reached out to you to know if it was fine. And then what he said in the comments, well, I told him in the comments, like, I still don't, myself, who's one the closest person to the thing, as long as Shawn, we both don't know what happened. So how does everybody else know?
I walk into Gold's Gym one day, because I was like, I walk into Gold's Gym because I'm like, okay, and anybody that knows me knows that after the Olympia, after all that, I take time off. I get fat and happy. That's just I become the Michelin man. I don't care. That's how I work. That's how my body functions. I'm not the guy that goes, I gotta run to the gym to catch a rebound. I'm like, hey, I'm good. I'm at Cheesecake Factory. I'm at IHOP. I'm eating Little Debbie's and Old Hoes. That's just me. So I'm going in the gym, and one morning, and I get approached by Jeff, the manager, and he says, hey, I heard you're no longer training here. And I says, what do you mean? He says, your trainer says that Mr. Olympia doesn't live here. He's going to be driving to train Mr. Olympia, so he doesn't need to be at Gold's Gym. And I said, oh, what happened? I haven't heard from Psycho. I don't know what's going on. Like, what's the deal? And he says, talk to your trainer. So up until that point, I still don't know what's going on.
Everything is good.
To me, everything is good in my head because the guy that's been training me have yet to say 2 words to me about what happened.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I reached out to him, and so like that's what I was saying. Like, so a lot of people are reaching out to me, and they're telling me all these things that he got kicked out, crazy stories. The police were there or whatever. So as a proof, because for me, I'm just taking Chris' word. Like he said, he left for the reason that this picture was on the wall. I mean, the picture thing I don't get because Shawn's picture was still not on the wall either. So but that's whatever. So when people asking me what happened, I'm like, Chris left because Chris told me he left. And when people are like, no, it's not true, he got kicked out. I did screenshot to at least I sent to one person a screenshot of my conversation with Chris on WhatsApp, which, Chris says that he left for those reasons I just mentioned. And so I'm like, this is the version I have from Chris, and that's the only version I have. I have no reason not to trust what Chris said. So, in my opinion, from what I know, Chris left. And he said he's gonna be there for us for the Olympia prep.
And
That's all I know.
And I think by then now, he is at Coastal Fitness. He did a video.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He did a
Yeah.
video joking around, and I see Stan reach out to him in our group chat, and he goes, "Chris, like, what's this?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just joking around because people said that I got kicked out of Gold's Gym. I'm just playing around." And Stan replied, "I don't get the joke
Yeah.
because you said you left." And from there on, I started asking questions.
And then Psycho replied to that, like, "Oh, that's what I told you in DM. I explained to you what happened." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you explained to me that you left because they didn't have your picture on the wall and they were charging you too much. That's what you told me.
Yeah.
I don't get the joke with you getting kicked out and like
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I didn't think it. I
It's a
couldn't
different
find,
story.
I couldn't find the funny thing because I'm like, that doesn't goes with what you told me. That goes with what everybody's telling me, and you're making a joke out of it. I don't get the joke."
And I'm gonna give you these text messages too from our group chat, where he was like, "Guys, like this, you know what? I did not get kicked out of Gold's Gym. I wanted to do my work in my YouTube channel and ebook.
Yeah.
And Gold's Gym was slow with the thumbs up.
Yeah,
so I
because
decided to do it somewhere else."
Okay.
And I'm like,
That makes sense.
okay, that makes sense. So I'm still not listening to what anybody is saying because my trainer
Go to the
is
source.
DMing me
Yeah.
and he's saying, "Guys, this is what happened." He goes, "Jeff wasn't the a-hole this time. We actually left in good terms
Yes.
and I'll be back." So I'm like, okay, we're good up to this point. Then I would receive a text message saying, "Hey guys, I'm going to Columbus to the Arnold.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing an interview with JTV with Dave, and I want to know what to say."
Yes.
I replied, and you will see in this text message, "Chris, to this day, I do not know what happened. So I don't know what to tell you to tell Jay or to tell Dave. I don't know, so I can't tell you what to say."
The same for me. Like I'm in the same group. I'm like,
And this
we
is-
tell
this is
them
in the
tell
group
Jay
chat,
what
so
you
I'm like-
told us. Like
I'm like, I don't know what to say, so I can't tell you what to tell anyone in an interview.
Yeah, we
Only
don't
you
know.
know. And then after the interview, he sent us a text message. He goes, basically like, "Oh crap! Now I see why you guys were concerned, because there's a lot of rumor floating around that I got kicked out of Gold's Gym. I did not get kicked out of Gold's Gym. Again, this is what happened. I wanted to do my YouTube and my ebook, and Gold's Gym was slow, and he put with the thumbs up. So I decided to do it elsewhere." But
yeah,
there's a
because you
lot
need
of
to.
rumors
For
going
people
on.
who don't know, you need to get a permission to film a goal.
Because we need permission to do any videos at Gold's Gym. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay. He goes, "I see why you guys are concerned. No problem."
And now we're in March.
And
Yeah,
this is in March.
beginning of March.
Yeah, this is in March.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, we're still good. But then he did an interview, and he didn't clarify that we had nothing to do with him getting kicked out of Gold's Gym. This is an arts muscle. And I start getting, when I say DM, I mean, people were DMing, making me seem like I'm the worst person. Psycho had me win the Olympia. I dumped him afterward. What kind of person that I am? And these keep coming and coming, and I still kept my mouth shut. I sent a text message to Chris, and I said, "Dude, like, listen, I am really tired of all these DMs that people are sending to me saying that I did you wrong. You helped me to win the Olympia, and then I screwed you over." I was like, we need to address this. We could do it in a post, a story post, or we could do it in a regular post. But we need to address this, or I'm going to do it myself. And he goes, "I don't understand why people are doing this." I was like, "Well, like, dude, you didn't clarify. You want, and then you make it seem as if I got you kicked out of Gold's Gym."
Yeah.
But I left it alone because I'm like, you know what? Whatever is Chris' agenda, whatever reason why he's doing this, you know what? It's okay. And I put it behind me because, again, I consider Chris to be a friend. And even after all that, I've been in his DM, I've been on his Insta Live, chit chat with him, like whatsoever. When his daughter graduated, he sent me a text with a picture saying, "Bro, like she graduated," and I was like, "Congratulations." He's like, "Remember you paid for her to go to science camp." I'm like, "That's what family does." That was my response to him. Because I'm like, dude, we're still boys. Like, no matter whatever is going on, I consider you to be a friend, and you help me to reach a goal that I set out to. So this right here is fucking bullshit, and I'm just pissed. Because if you're gonna say that I orchestrate for you to get kicked out of Ghost Jam, dude, that is fucking low. Like, straight up. Like, I'm like the last person. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say 2 words. But at this point, this is 2020. And you're still harping on some shit that you made up in your head
Over a year ago.
over a year later, and I'm just mad at this point.
But there was also 2 interviews, Shawn. I don't know if you remember. He actually did 2 interviews, and I was asking you if that latest one on GI was actually an old one or not. 'Cause sometimes they release stuff later.
This is another one. Because that's the only one he did with Matt Truck, and I was pissed off.
Right.
And I sent him a message right after that.
Okay.
Because you're like, oh, I'll never sing Trent Shawn again if he comes, and I'm like, they're like, whatever.
Well, I
Like,
think
you know,
that interview.
I'm like, you know, I was like, okay, you know, so, you know, they're never going to train me again for whatever reason. No sweat off my back. More power to you. But this last shit that you did, like, there's only 2 reasons why a team broke up. Women or money. I paid you.
So why? Yeah.
Dude, I paid you what you asked for. I didn't negotiate your price. You say that's what you want, and I paid you. So for you to now turn around and say that was the reason why we left, the money problem is not with me. Because whatever you asked for, I paid.
And plus, since like now he's saying that he got kicked out and that's been
You
on
got
picture.
kicked out of Ghost
But
Jam
the whole
until
time
you
you've
left
been
on
saying
your
you
own.
left. The whole time you've been telling us you left on your own. You were very happy. If they did you wrong, you would have went off. Like that just goes against everything you've said to us so far.
I remember that interview that he did with Jin in Columbus because obviously I filmed it. And all he mentioned at that time, he never mentioned either one of your name. He just mentioned some issues and goals that it was better for him to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You guys never even were brought up. So I'm just wondering, and that's something I asked you off camera, why is it that after all this time, he's saying this about you? I don't understand why wait so long.
You know, because I'm the person that I always get my mouth shut and I don't say anything. I consider Chris, I consider Psycho Fitness, I consider Stan to be friends. And I normally just keep my mouth shut. And everybody that knows me now, that I'm just kind of like, hey, you know what? We're good. You know, Shawn is not going to speak up. Shawn is not Dexter. Shawn is not going to go off the deep end. You know, Shawn this, Shawn that. I know how Shawn is. Shawn is quiet.
Yeah.
I've been around Shawn long enough. You know, Shawn's going to keep his mouth shut. Like, whatever the motive may be, I did keep my mouth shut. But at the same time, me keeping my mouth shut,
Makes
it
you look
looks
bad.
like I basically did everything that Chris said to get him kicked out of Ghost Jam.
Yeah, and that's not true.
Dude, you helped me to win the Olympia, and I thank you. It wasn't because just you why I won the Olympia. I've been training since I was 60 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of time that went into me training. I'm sorry that I'm cursing, but I'm just pissed off at this point. I've been training since I was 16 years old. I've had mentors. I've learned from a lot of people. I've had words with Ronnie Coleman that taught me a lot. I've talked to Jay Cutler. I've trained with Charles Glass. I had my mentor, Yanni Schamberger. So just a lot of work that put into, not just a year and a half of me training for the Olympia. Before I won the Olympia, I was in the top 5 since 2012. And probably if I didn't break my draw in 2017, I would have probably won in 2017. So for you to make it seem as if that it was just solely what you did in 2017, we worked as a team in 2017 and 2018 in order to accomplish one goal. And I appreciate that you took the time, you got paid for your service, we were still boys, we were still friends, and now 2020, I'm the one that orchestrated and worked out a deal for you to get kicked out of Ghost
Which
Jam.
makes no sense. Like
If I was going to get you kicked out, I wouldn't have paid you. I wouldn't have went and tour and have you get paid
Extra.
to go on a tour extra.
and take out of your pocket to make sure he gets the money that was deserved.
You know, so for that to then turn around in 2020 and make it seem as if there are 2 things why people break up or argue, money and women, it's not about women. So what exactly, what else do I owe you? Like, what else do I owe you?
Because the whole thing with the UK tour that people don't know either is like there was a budget, you know, they were supposed to do a certain number of appearances, so they were supposed to get paid a certain amount. Him, Shawn, Chris, Psycho, Chris Aceto, and they ended up doing a little less, so they didn't come up with the whole money they were supposed to. And Shawn took off his share to make sure Aceto and Psycho got what was planned
the full
before.
amount.
Yeah, the full amount.
Before, gotcha.
And he didn't say anything, but Subi orchestrated the thing, said, thought it was, worth mentioning. So in the group text that I was in, because they were trying to get me into, he said, just so you guys know, like to Psycho and Aceto, Shawn took off his share to make sure you guys got paid the full amount that, that was planned. And yeah, so that's the type of person that Shawn is. Like he's paid, like he's helped so many people in the industry. He always goes out of his way to help people. He's helped like so many people with their, they're traveling to go to shows, coaching, all kind of ways. I mean, yeah. So like, I just don't get the whole thing. Like, you tell us you left, and now you're telling us that you got kicked out, and we orchestrated this because he didn't want to pay you, which he actually still paid you. So it doesn't even make sense. All because you now are saying also it was planned since the beginning that he was going to go back to Charles. We didn't talk to Charles until like June. Since you were not coming back to goals, we were training Shawn and I, and one morning Charles was walking by, and Shawn was like, "Hey, Charles, do you have like some available times?"
I was going to ask you about that. How did the whole start training with Charles happen?
I was frustrated because I believe Chris when he says, he told Stan, "Don't worry, I'll be back for Olympia prep." I believe him 100%. I didn't listen to what anybody else was saying about, Psycho got kicked out of Gold's Gym. I just kind of like, listen. And anybody that came up to me and said, I was like, listen, you know what? I haven't heard anything from Chris. I know what he told me. He said that he left on his own. He has stuff that he needed to accomplish, stuff that he needed to get done. So therefore, he's going to get that taken care of. There's no hard feeling between him and Jeff. He's just hiding out. He's doing his thing. No problem. But I keep getting these DMs like over and over from videos, and he, Psycho would do a live and would make these in and out the comments, and I'm just like, dude, like why? Like why are you doing this? He'd make comment like, we'll see what happened. We'll see what happened. And I'm like, what's gonna happen, dude? We're still waiting for you to come and train. Like, if they're gonna start training with somebody else, we'll see what happened. So I'm like, okay, he's not coming back. So I'm in the gym training and I see, Charles one morning, and I have nothing against Charles. I have nothing against Psycho. I have nothing against anyone. I see Charles as I'm walking out, and I said, "Hey, boss, do you have a time slot? I want to start training, maybe 1 or 2 days." And he goes, "All right, I'll let you know." Okay, and I walk out of the gym. That was the gist of the conversation.
And then he messaged me and said, "We might start your training with Charles."
We might start training with Charles.
Yeah.
So then Charles said, "Hey, you know what? I could train you guys in such and such time." And I go, "Okay, no problem." So I showed up that day to start training, and I still didn't know what was going on with Chris because Chris never said anything to me more than, "Hey, listen, you know what? I didn't get kicked out of Gold's Gym. I'm just taking some time to do my videos, whatever it is that he was doing,
ebooks and stuff.
ebooks." So that was fine with me. But I'm like, dude, it's June. And I'm seeing all these interview pops up where you're like, I got kicked out of Gold's Gym, I got forced out of Gold's Gym, and I'm hearing that people are like, I'm behind it, and I'm like, enough is enough. I'm tired, I'm drained. Dude, I consider you to be a friend, but for you to do that and start talking, crap about me, I'm like, dude, like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not gonna go back and forth with this, and I've told you before. Because I've sent you DMs, I've sent you text message, where I'm like, Chris, can you please speak up and say something? Because you're saying that I got you kicked out of Gold's Gym. I did something for you to get. I'm part of a team. I'm part of whatever it is conspiracy that got you kicked out of Gold's Gym. But on the other hand, you're saying that you didn't get kicked out of Gold's Gym. You left on your own. And then I'm getting a shitload of DMs every day. I'll make a post and people are like, "Oh, that was effed up that you get Psycho kicked out." I'm like, delete. Because I don't want to constantly see that. I made, a story post and I get people jumping in my DMs accusing me that, I was so messed up, Psycho, I helped you to win the Olympia, and then you dumped them. You got him kicked out of Gold's Gym. Like, that is so messed up, what kind of person that you are.
Makes no sense.
And I'm like, and I ignored it because I'm like, Chris, please take care of this.
But now people are calling you stupid for leaving him, but we never left.
I never left.
He left.
You left
the gym. And you
To
told
be
us
honest,
that.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I said this before. Maybe had Chris come to me and say, "Hey, Shawn, listen, this is what's going on. Do you think we could train a couple days at Coastal?" I probably would have been like, "You know what? No problem," because I moved to LA. I was in LA all the time. Had he just come to me and say, "Hey, dude, like this is what's going on. I'm at Coastal. Can we train a couple days over there? Can we focus on the body part that I think you need to bring up?"
Yeah.
I'd have probably be like, "You know what, bro? Like you work pretty good. No problem at all." At least I would have known what was going on.
Yeah.
But for me to throw me in the fire and say that we did this to get you kicked out when you told us you never got kicked out, dude, the same day you got kicked out, I was sitting one seat in front of you. As I'm walking in, you could have been like, "Hey, listen, Shawn, something happened at Gold Gym today. I need to take care of it. I want to make sure that you hear it from me first."
Yeah.
Never said a word to me.
Maybe.
So for now in March, what's this, June, May,
Yeah.
2020, to say that you found out that I was part of a conspiracy that was planning right after the Olympia to get rid of you,
And then he said that, I screenshot his text and made a fool of him. Yeah, I screenshot his text, because to me that's the version I have. So when people are telling me he got kicked out, I'm like, no, Chris told me he left the gym. So he left the gym. As far as I'm concerned, he left the gym. Did I think that saying that he left because his picture on the wall is inappropriate? Yeah, I think it's inappropriate because Shawn's picture was not on the wall either.
Yeah, took a while.
So that was kind of I think that's a stupid comment. But whatever, if you want a picture on the wall and you're not happy because it's not yet on the wall, then that's your decision. I don't care. But I'm not even made a fool of Psycho for that. Like I just took his word for for what it was and took it for the truth.
up to this very day, I have no reason why Chris Psycho Fitness left Gold's Gym, other than he said that he left on his own.
And you can even ask the management. Like I went to talk to some people who work for Goals after this whole thing happened. I was like, hey, can you just, between you and me, I won't say anything to anyone. Like, what happened? Like, is Chris gonna be, back? Like, is it bad? Like, he said he left, and they were like, I can't tell you. So why would I go and inquire if I'm part of anything? Or if Shawn was behind it, he would have told me. So I would have known too. Like, why would I go ask? Why would I go ask somebody like?
I've asked the same question, and he told me I need to talk to Chris, and I know what Chris told me. So I believe what Chris told me because I don't think he had a reason to lie to me and say, hey, listen, you know what? I left on my own because I wanted to do my videos and the videos were slow, and I know what it's like to try to get video done at Gold's Gym. So when he sent that message, I was like, okay, we're good.
That makes sense.
It makes sense. Like you want to do your YouTube channels and you want to work on your ebook, and I know it's like trying to get time to videotape at Gold's Gym 3-4 days in a row. It's not going to happen.
It's red tape. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we're still good. So for you to now say that, dude, like that really hurt my feeling. That honestly, because I had mad respect for you. I consider you to be a friend. I thought you were a part of the team. And I have this conversation with Chris Aceto, and Chris is looking at me like I'm like dumbfounded, like what? He was like, dude, like we did something good together. Like why would you? I've been with Chris Aceto since 2012.
Yeah,
if something works, you don't break it apart because it worked.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Like, why would I want to dismantle the car after we won the Grand Prix?
I know, exactly.
That's
what I thought. I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense.
We literally just won, the Indianapolis 500, and then what did I do? Scrap the car and put it in the garage for no reason? It makes no sense for me. It makes no logic to think that any person with a sound mind would then turn around and be like, well, Chris wanted 20 grand, so I'm gonna pay him, and then I'm gonna fire him. When I'm like, man, we got another Olympia to win.
Yeah.
Like our group was clicking, like everything that we're doing worked together, and then I'm gonna break the team down and be like, what? I didn't make a deal to go train with anybody else. I'm going by what you told us. You left on your own because you got stuff that you got to do, and I completely understand it. You're trying to build your business. But for you to then, right after that, keep mentioning different stuff about what I did, like I didn't want to pay you, I didn't want to, I didn't want to do this. I made a deal to go train with Charles. Listen, I love Charles. I think he's great. I've trained with him since 2013, and I've trained with you while he was training us. I enjoy training with you. I have no bad blood, and I've said this even to Chris Lewis. I said, listen, If you were a plumber, you don't need to convince people that you're a plumber. If you're good at what you do, you don't need to convince people that you're good at what you do. When he did his first interview with I think Generation or Arts Muscle or Generation Iron, I had a conversation with him and I said, it makes no sense for you to go and badmouth Charles, talk bad about Charles. I said, no matter what it is, like we're training together, we're a team. You trying to convince everyone and say, hey, this, you know what, the reason why you did this and you want to take over, you want to rule the world. I was like, dude, it kind of makes no sense. At the end of the day, it's not about you, it's not about Charles. It's about the people that you're training, and you guys are trying to make those people the best that they can be. I had that conversation one-on-one with him because I'm like, dude, like you going in any show makes you look bad, saying that, you know, Charles was this and Charles was that, and you see an opportunity to go in and, you know, you were a better trainer and Charles wasn't training the guys the way it should be trained. I'm like, whatever it is, like you have your opinion, you share it with me, you say, I can make you better. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I was still friends with Charles. I walk in the gym every day and I say, what's up, Pops? How's your daughter? How's you feeling? Like whatever it is, because I have no animosity between Charles Glass. Even when I was training with him.
Yeah.
And even when Psycho didn't come back because he was working on his ebook and doing his YouTube channel, I still went on his DM and his live and talked to him when he was talking to people.
Yeah.
Where people are like, hey, Rhoden's in the house. And I talked to him like, you know, happy birthday, bro. Hope everything is okay. Because at the time, you were just taking a break to work on your stuff. And you never said anything to us. You never said anything to me. You never said, Shawn, you know what? I got kicked out or whatever it is going on. You never said two words to me about that. You just said that you'll be back for prep. And to this day, this very day that we talking, and I made a comment, it might just seem out there because I'm like, dude, I was your ice cream client. You can even tell me that you got kicked out or the reason why you left Gold's Gym. I was just being honest because I just got tired of everybody else telling me what happened.
Yeah.
And the guy that I trained with, that trained me,
Hey.
never said to me what happened.
Yeah,
That's my piece.
That's exactly what I like. After this whole thing was down, like the whole journalists of bodybuilding, all the YouTubers, everybody was reaching out and asking me like, oh, what happened? And one thing I told everyone is what Psycho told me. He left.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, no, there's more to it. You got kicked out. There's this and that. I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, he told me he left.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why like now 2020 you're going on GI and saying like there's been a whole conspiracy to get you kicked out, and you're claiming that's because Shawn didn't want to pay you, but he did pay you the exact amount that you asked me to tell him you wanted.
Yeah, you never told me how much you wanted. You told Stan.
So
I don't understand why that is. I don't understand why.
Listen, whether or not I had a sponsor or not, you
can tell.
You tell me like, hey, listen, you know what, Shawn?
You have that kind of relationship.
You know, we were friends. You know, you could be like, bro, like, listen, you know what? You know, we did something great here, and I was hoping, or listen, you know what, for what I did, you know, I know we hadn't spoke about it before, but you know, I was thinking about 20 grand.
And that's it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
You know, you going to tell Stan to tell me is just kind of like you send Stan a text message and then Stan reach out to me and then I'm texting you like, hey, what's your figure? And instead of telling me your figure, you still went back to Stan to tell Stan how much you want.
Yeah,
where, you know, you and I are friends, man. And, you know, all that going around, you know, it makes no sense, but I figured that was the best way you wanted to communicate. And maybe you didn't want to jeopardize our friendship or whatever it is. You figure out it's best if you talk to Stan, and because me and Stan have a different kind of relationship, and Stan would have relayed the message differently. But at the end of the day, I still paid you, and you know, I was still looking forward to us crushing it. And then, you know, I'm hearing that I was the one that was part of the group that got you kicked out. And
if you can change time and go back in time, what would you have want? How would you have want the situation to be handled? Like perfect world.
In a perfect world, I would wish the first time that I asked how much this is going to cost me, it would have been like, hey, this, you know what? I want X amount of money, but if you win, can I get a bonus or something?
Okay, that's fair.
I would have been happy with that, or you know.
But the main thing is regarding the situation is like You being
It's not.
you being at the top, athlete, you just won the Olympia. We won the Olympia together. You just won. You're technically Psycho's #1 athlete. So, because you're #1 athlete in the world, something happens that either you left or Gold Gym kicked you out. Whatever it is, the real reason we don't know. You know more than us. Just reach out to your athletes, your top athletes, and just tell them. You know, even if you don't want to tell him what happened between you and Gold, be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be training out West Coast. Would you come here? Or I can come train you." But like, reach out and figure it out.
Communicate.
Yeah.
As I said, at least said 2 words to me, like, you know, "Hey, Shawn, you know, this is the deal. You know, I'm not in good standing with Gold's Gym. We had an impasse, and I don't know how to fix this. But I'm hoping that we're training for the Olympia in 2019. Maybe we could figure something out. You know, if we need to go back to Oxnard World's Gym, or if we need to go to Coastal. I would understand. At least you spoke to me.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from everybody else sending me a DM or me walking into Gold's Gym and saying, like, "Hey, what happened to Psycho? The police was here and you got dragged out."
Yeah.
And I blocked all that out because I'm like, I just saw Chris. He never said anything to me.
Yeah.
Even when he was like, "I was doing an interview with you," I'm like, "I don't know, dude, you know, say what you gotta say. Like, you know, I don't know what's going on. You know, only you know what's going on." And you just come and say something to me. Listen, not even as his #1 athlete, but just as his friend,
Right.
as his boy. We just got back from tour. We just won the Olympia. And he
You're in a
just,
good place.
yeah, I'm like, you know, dude,
Like if you wanted him to be kicked out, why would you take him on tour the week before?
yeah. Yeah,
Like, to
to
make money out of it. And
you know, I would have been like,
celebrate
"Hey, you know
everything.
what, man? I don't really need you on this tour. You know, more money for me."
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm like, we're going in tour. I mean, I'm posting that we're going in tour. Like, we're doing seminars together, like, you know, laughing and giggling.
And
then
meanwhile,
you're
like
come back.
you're like in the
and
UK,
kick you out.
calling Gold's Gym like, "Hey, you gotta get him kicked out." Like,
Like,
when he comes back, like
what for?
What's
What-
the
what benefit
logic
do I
behind
have?
this?
So
Yeah.
the communication was just non-existent. And
Communication
that's
was
what it comes down
non-existent,
to.
and dude, I didn't get you kicked out. I didn't get you orchestrated to be kicked out. I was on no team. I didn't make any deal with anyone. You know, for you to be kicked out of Gold's Gym, you know, I'm tired. I'm beyond tired of seeing constantly that somebody is sending me DMs talking about something that happened last year. I'm so tired of every time I made a post about just training in general, people are making comments about Psycho Fitness that, "Oh, it was messed up what you did to get him kicked out." Like, and as far as I know, you're left on your own. I mean, I'm not gonna go into any more discussion with anyone. You know, feel free to say whatever you want to say, but I'm done. I'm gonna give you a bunch of text message for you to see what happened in conversation. But at this point, I'm gonna put this to rest. I'm gonna go on to the next chapter of my life.
Let me ask you something. Robert.
Hey,
You know Chris is going to see this interview. Would you welcome him calling you or texting you so you guys can actually, even though it's too late, might be too late, to have a conversation like two
Honestly,
men? And
I still want to know what happened.
Yeah.
I know
it'd
that's
be
not
great.
weird.
So it'd be great.
I want to know what happened
be
because
great.
to this day, I'm like, "Hey, listen, you know what?
because we
I
thought he
don't
left
know.
the whole time, and now it's like we're seeing an interview, and he's saying that he got kicked out, and we're behind it.
Yeah.
So
I still want to know if Chris said to me, "Hey, bro, let's sit down and talk." You know, I think it was miscommunication or just was turned around to something else. I want to just set the record straight. I have no problem
That'd be great.
because you know what? I'm like, I still don't know to this day.
So instead of going on another video,
There will be no more video. I don't care what.
no, but even
happened.
on his side, I think it would be best if both of you guys, because you were great friends, you did something great together.
Honestly, I still consider us to be friends.
So-
I just don't know what this is about.
I think
this
it'd be
is so
awesome.
weird, and like the whole
Yeah.
thing, it makes no sense. Like I know Psycho. Like I was driving every day with him. Like the 2017, I was spending 3 hours every day in the car with him. I knew his ambition was to be the best trainer. He still is to be the best trainer in the world. Like he set the bar really high by winning the first year.
Yeah.
Till the next thing you want is just to confirm that and win him again.
That's right.
Like, yeah, I mean, I can understand he can be frustrated by the situation, but we're nowhere not anywhere close from being part of anything to having him out of our lives.
Yeah.
If he's not training Shawn at this point, it's only because he never reached out.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that knows me will tell you, like, dude, I kept my mouth shut because just out of, just pure friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna go back with he says, she says, and what's not.
Yeah.
Chris knew what happened, he was there. Stan knew what happened, he was there.
I mean, Chris knows the most. Because he's the one who dealt with Goldjim.
With golds and all that
So
stuff.
he's the one who knows. And then Goldjim knows, but it's private. I understand that too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to repeat anything, but it's my trainer.
They don't want to start gossiping.
Yeah, and I understand that. I respect that too.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to go off what Psycho told me, who's my friend and my trainer, somebody I respect. And whenever people wants to make rumors about, I told them, that's what I know, that's what Psycho told me, and that's what I believe. And that's still to this day what I believe. So now you going around and changing the whole story and saying, he got kicked out. I'm like, and now we're part of it. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, we don't know more. Like, Chris, you know way more than us. So.
Well, I appreciate you guys telling your story. I feel like you guys had the right to do that.
I never wanted this to come to, doing an interview about this, but when I've been labeled as something that I didn't do, like, man, this is really heartbreaking. As I said, I do consider Chris to be a good friend. We trained together. We spent a lot of times, man. We spent a lot of time
posing, training.
We spent a lot of time together. Like Redemption 21, like whatever Redemption 18, like interviews with you. We did everything. We were, So for me, man, this is tough. This is heartbreaking because I told myself I was never going to do this. I never wanted to do this. I'm just tired of seeing one more, or the constant inbox of people.
And calling you stupid for leaving your trainer. We didn't leave. If anybody
what bothers me is this. It's the constant DMs and messages that I receive from something that I know Chris could have just easily like, listen guys, I don't know why you guys have this notion that I was kicked out of Coach Gym and Shawn was part of it. I don't know why you guys have this notion that Shawn didn't pay me for a service that I rendered. I don't know where you guys are getting information, but this is what happened between me and Shawn. Shawn had nothing to do with this because I don't. Chris just did an Instagram post on his live and just cleared that up the first time somebody made a comment about it.
Yeah.
Which you asked him to do.
I asked him to do it. I was like, can you please, bro, clear the hair because, this is not what happened. Had he just did that, I would have been like, what, dude, I don't care what happened after that. At least I knew that you clear that up and says, Shawn has always paid me. He's always said whatever he's going to do. He wasn't part of me getting kicked out of the gym. Him and Stan were great. We're a great partner. We train great together. Like right now, I'm just trying to figure something out, and we're going to be back to the business of what we do, bodybuilding.
Well, it's never too late. Hopefully Chris sees this, and I would love for you to text me after he sees this and say, you know what, Chris reached out and we had a good talk, and everything is good. That'd be great. Right? We're hoping that's what happens. So.
Yeah, I just don't get those videos.
Yeah. Only Chris knows the reason, just like you said. He knows the most out of everything that's happened, and we're not in Chris's head, so we can't guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Or know how he feels. I'm sure he feels a certain way, and he's got his reasoning. But on a personal note, I'm kind of sad, to see you guys achieving the greatest goal in bodybuilding, and then it's all falling apart after that. So that's the way I looked at it. And like I said, I'm great friends with you guys. I'm great friends with him, and I hope you guys work things out. And I hope Chris reaches out, even if it doesn't mean you guys are gonna get back together and train. Even if none of that happened, I'm hoping you guys just put all that stuff behind you and just focus on positive things.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I gotta go.